looking for you. I'm always looking for you. I brushed it off, pushed it aside, but I couldn't help. I was looking for you. Yeah, I was looking for you. I have a house around it. I have the silence in the road. Just a figure in the dark. As if coming for the storm. If I fall, you'll catch me. Brush me back up on my feet. Being a strength inside.
Hello and welcome everybody to Wednesday night racing action here with the Vigilante Racing League. We're in store for 50 laps here at Sonoma Raceway, previously known as Infineon, previously known as Sears Point. So we're in for some good racing action here in these trucks around this kind of tricky up and down road course, and man, it's going to be action filled. I'm Alan Brown, and I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Alan English. Alan, how you doing tonight, man?
Great, man. You had me double-checking the schedule because I think it was scheduled for 40 laps, but looks like they added 10 more laps tonight, making it even 100 miles. This is a unique road course. A lot of elevation changes here. 2 miles in length in this configuration. And I think this is how they're going to run it for Cup this upcoming season. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think they took that carousel bit back out of it. But a couple of tricky turns. Like we said, elevation change. So when you get to the top of the hill up there in that turn, I believe it's turn 3 or 4, the suspension just unloads. So if you're trying to turn and all your downforce is gone, it's kind of hard to maintain some grip right there. So definitely a couple spots on the track that these guys are going to have to watch out for.
That they will. And down there on pit road, finding his way out to this road course is Mr. Adam Turner. Adam, did you just follow the smell of wine or something to end up out here in wine country?
Yeah, I don't know why they put a track out here in the middle of wine country. There should be more place for the grapes, but they put one out here. It's very narrow. I've kind of figured that out. 2 fast repairs tonight, 70% fuel. The track is kind of hot right now, 106 degrees. I think that's going to play in on their tires, and the narrowness of this track is going to be an issue. People getting around, but hey, this is for money. 35 to the winner, 25 to second place, 15 to third, and we have a $5 random draw race driver at the end of the race, and we're going to have a super fan of the race. So if anybody's out there watching and wants to make some money, start commenting, tell us how cool the Vigilante guys are out here on Sonoma.
That indeed. As we take a look at today's race info, like you said, kind of warm and sweltery down there on the racing surface, so that's going to be something to definitely watch out for. This track is hard enough, but with crazy weather like this, man, it can definitely take its toll. And that's also going to bring us to that key of the race, and it's don't get lost in those desert hills. Man, we say it every single time we head on over to one of these road courses. You got to be perfect. You got to keep these trucks on that racing surface. But even more so here, there's really no safe runoff because you're going to end up going into the dirt and you're just going to keep sliding and sliding away.
Yeah, if you forget where you're at on the track, what turn you're going into, lose where your braking point is, and you make a mistake, like you said, there's not a whole lot of runoff, except for like over there in 6, there's quite a bit of gravel between you and the tire barrier, but the tire barrier does not move, people. That is not, there are no soft impact physics there whatsoever. You hit that tire barrier shot like hitting the concrete wall, so try to stay out of the barriers as much as you can. 2 fast repairs, but hey, if you use them up in a few laps, you're done. So you're going to be sitting in the pits waiting for the hammers and sawzalls and blowtorches.
That you are, as we head on out to the track right now. Open qualifying, as this is a road course, so they're going to get as many laps in as they need to set a really good lap time out there. We saw quite a few quick drivers out there during practice. Of course, you saw the 728 of Timothy Pope leading that coming out of practice, but he is going to be starting in the rear of the field here tonight due to that EOL penalty. Well, can't really say penalty, but the kind of handicap, we should say, to try to make things more even, being the winner of last week. And it's going to be the same thing with, as soon as I can find his name, the 221 of John Ellis. He's going to be starting towards the rear of the field as well.
Yeah, it's not like a penalty, it's like a reward. You did so well last week, here's your EOL. But they do that for a great reason here at Vigilante, is to introduce some parity into it, some fairness, kind of level kind of handicap the field a little bit, if you will, to give some other guys a chance. Make these guys fight their way up through the field, after doing so well the previous week. So, go ahead, sir.
I was just going to say, well, here it's so narrow. I don't know how that's going to play out. There's not many places to kind of pass cleanly, And it's almost, I know you said it was reward, but it seems more like a punishment to me. But that's just me. I just think this track is so narrow, it's going to be super hard for them to pass. Tires are going to get hot. Tempers maybe will flare. I don't know, but it should be interesting to see if any of these guys can work their way from the back to the front on a place where we don't normally see them run. This place we have right turns here, It's not kind of our deal. So it'll be interesting to see if any of those guys can work their way to the front, because there's going to be some traffic in front of them. Quite a few cars out there tonight. Trucks, should I say.
That there will, as we're sitting here in qualifying, just over 6 minutes here left remaining. Jess Vaught currently leading that top of the leaderboard, followed by George Rincon. But something I've been noticing here has been following through these drivers. We're going to keep the camera here for just another minute or two. Coming into this final hairpin before they make the turn along the pit wall there, I've seen a lot of people go a little too wide and hit those tires on that outside.
And that's going to be a key turn, especially if it's, if the interval is pretty close at the end of the race. We saw Tony Stewart years ago make one heck of a pass right here in this little horseshoe to win this race when the Cup cars were there. But you've got to practice. You've got to master this hairpin. You got to know exactly where your points are. And a lot of loose trucks coming through there right now.
As we actually follow along here with the 214 of Jeffrey Ottinger, he's about to come up to that section as we speak, and you can see it's a very hard braking zone, and it is a very tight turn. It's got room, maybe seen too wide, maybe some passes happen in there, but man, that is a very tricky part of this track.
Well, and Adam talked about the whole track being narrow, and I'm sure we're going to hear that a lot tonight, but and lack of clean passing zones. So here's one of those things that you've got to reach into your road course racing toolbox and try to outbrake somebody. The person who can outbrake the competition right there going in that hairpin is going to have the success, and they're going to get the advantage, maybe get a nose in there. If they turn the guys, so be it. But if you're there, you're there. You know what I'm saying? So these guys are going to have to make passing zones. And one of the ways you can do that is trying to outbrake your competition.
Yeah, I don't like braking zone. I like dumping zone, because that's what you need to do right there. Just dump the guy in front of you if he's going too slow.
Yeah, just
dump him, turn him. Wide as well. That's what that final turn looks like to me. It's just a perfect spot to just get into somebody and get around them.
But that's not the only tricky spot of this track either. As we saw there, the 82 of Mike Everidge had just crested that hill, and man, it looks like you're falling off the face of a cliff with how steep that is, and you're coming into a pretty sharp turn, and man, oh man, that is a tricky section of that track.
You just saw it happen right there with the 203, that U.S. Army Toyota of Earl Evans. As soon as that suspension got unloaded, he had that wheel turned just a little bit, and the whole truck spun out on him and went out into that dead grass there on the right side of the track. So we're going to see a lot of that.
I want to clarify one thing quickly. It could have something to do with Louisiana, but is it Toyota or is it a Toyota? Toe or toy? I don't know.
Something like that.
Must be that Louisiana accent there. But that Toyota is going to have a hard time on this narrow track tonight, I can assure you.
That it is, as we're still about 2.5 minutes away from closing this qualifying session up. Just Vaught still hanging on to that lead. Jonathan Osborne kind of trying to chip away at that time and get up there towards that front. But we're seeing some great times here by some people that we normally don't see do too crazy well at these road courses, like the 55 of Ricky Wittenberg. I mean, he's just all around a pretty solid driver, but has struggled at these road courses in the past, but he's definitely put in some practice laps. Same thing as he currently takes over the 3rd place spot there with a really great time there from the 55 of Wittenberg. But you also had the 88 of Eric Klafka up there sitting right now in that top 10. I mean, you got Jack Dixon in the 07 who really wasn't feeling too well, I can't really say anybody was feeling too confident coming into here this week, but he definitely wasn't feeling that great. But he's sitting right there with a top 10 time as of right now. You know, Earl Evans, one of the new gentlemen to have come to this league running that 203 truck. He's, you know, yet to put in a lap time, as he has went off track at least once every single lap. But, you know, he's out here trying it. Just based on what I've been watching, it's been pretty good. He just, I think, needs to just get a solid time in there and then kind of go on from there.
You see that slick paint job right there, Jack the Ripper Dixon in that 07. That's one of Ricky Wittenberg's paints. D&D Race Graphics, one of the sponsors of this league. If you need a cool paint, just look around the track here. He's done a lot of these paints out here. The Omega team, I know for sure. If you need a paint job done, get a hold of Ricky Wittenberg at D&D Race Graphics on Facebook.
And not only that, but we have to say thank you to him again for being the proud sponsor with the Keller Williams of Johnson City, Tennessee. If you need a realtor in the Tennessee or across the country, anywhere in that area, which is a big old area for Ricky, man, give him a call at 423-444-0454. If you're looking to buy or sell your house, that is something. Do not do it alone. Find yourself a great realtor. And whether that's Ricky, or if Ricky helps you find one of those great ones in the area that you're looking for, it's definitely a good way to kind of spread the love that you got here over for the Vigilante guys. As a lot of time, money, and effort gets put in week out by him, so we thank him for doing this as always. As well as go check out Vigilante Racing. Let me make sure I get the name right. VigilanteRacing.com, the official store merchandise page here for the Vigilante Racing League, where you can get long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, anything with a multitude of designs on there. So definitely go buy a gift if someone's birthday's coming up and you know they're a fan of this great league. That's a wonderful gift to hand out. And you also got mugs, tumblers, man. It's got some good quality products on there, so definitely it's another way you can help support this league, is go and get some merchandise from the store.
Yeah, one of the things is that Josh Buettner puts a lot of work into that store, and he's always looking to add new things. So go back and visit it every once in a while, because he's adding new stuff every now and then. So not all of it's VRL stuff. Some of it's just cool racing shirts and stuff with cool phrases and stuff on it. I mean, definitely go give it a look. Well, what do you guys think about this? I mean, normally we have a little bit bigger field, so I think the fact that it's at Sonoma this week maybe scared a couple guys off. Maybe they took a drop week. But out of the 26 I see, or 25 I should say, we only have 15 that actually put in the time. What do you guys think that's all about?
I think it's just a confidence thing. None of these guys want to be the one that wrecks the field into turn one because of, just a silly mistake that we've all made, But at the same time, it's it could play into their favor. All this stuff could happen right there in front of them, and they're able to drive right on past it without too much of an issue. We are expecting a competition yellow here right at midway, so that is something to look forward to stack that field back on up. So we may not see too much hard racing now, but man, when that one happens, that's when the show will definitely happen, as our drivers start to take the grid here And we got a little change up there last second. Jonathan Osborne able to take over that first place spot over Jess Vaught in that 33. So great job from Jonathan and Jess starting up there on row number 1. Row number 2 is going to have that 55 of Ricky Wittenberg with his sponsored truck of the 84, Josh Buettner, right there on his outside. In 5th, you're going to have the 28 of George Rincon. And in 6th, the 82 of Mike Everidge. The 202 of Justin French will be starting here in 7th, with the 88 of Eric Klafka finishing, or going to be starting here in 8th. You got the 01 of Kelly Keel, going to be starting here in 9th, with Jack the Ripper Dixon rounding out your top 10 here.
Dustin really in that number 37 truck, that black and purple machine. Look for him to make some moves. He's pretty good at any kind of racing you put at him, or throw at him, I should say. And out here on the road course, look for that 37 to maybe make some moves. Today, he'll be starting in 11th. The 214, Jeffrey Ottinger, starting in 12th. One of our awesome rookies that they got. This is a pretty cool rookie class that we've got this second season of Vigilante Racing. So looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. Deion Jones will be starting in 13th in that 4 truck. Earl Evans in the 203 Army Machine in 14th. Robert Jordan in the 204, another one of your new cats, was the last guy to actually put a time in, starting in 15th. The 221 of John Ellis, one of your EOL guys, because he did so well last week, starting in 16th. Brian Jablonski starting in 17th, and he's number 17. Rob Green will be starting in 19th in the 91. And rounding out your top 20, that's John Herzig in the 14.
Yeah, then you 15, Jeffrey Green, and 21st. You got Timothy Pope. He will be starting pretty much in the back, but he hadn't shuffled to the back yet. Then you have Russ Endicott, 23rd. America's driver, Albert Anderson, 24th. Jeremiah Burke, 25th. And Russ Kilgore is going to round it out, and he did get the AOL from last week, how well he did, so he's not going to have to move too far.
Good to see him run so well last week. We were real happy to see old Russ up there on get himself a podium. That was exciting.
let's get the thoughts of our viewers and stuff, man, because there's money to be won out there to win the super fan of the race. Hopefully somebody's out there wanting some money.
Andrew Hansley's out there saying looking forward to some great racing. Road courses are always fun to watch. And Albert Anderson saying he's starting the back due to a carryover penalty from last week, but he's more than happy to start in the back at this race. So Albert Anderson, not too hurt about that. And then Angry Indian 89 joining us on Twitch. Appreciate the compliment there, Angry Indian. Thanks for watching. And then, of course, over on the YouTube stream, Jeremiah Burke says he's excited to watch this after it's over. It's going to be exciting, and he's going to have to come from the back. He's one of those guys that's going to fight his way up through the field in that 753 truck painted like Mardi Gras out there. And Peyton McGowan saying hello, everyone. Of course, Peyton is on here cheering for the 84 Keller Williams machine of Josh Buettner.
And it couldn't get tightened up there. Brown, looks like we're going to have one more lap. I think
one more lap, trying to get everything all tightened up, squared away. It is a little difficult to pace around at a road course under caution, but they'll get everything going back here in just a moment. It looks like they're just about all stacked up now. Coming back down the hill, you can see just that mob of trucks flowing and finding their way down and around, rumbling and bumbling, causing this place to be alive. And just gotta watch out for those dang earthquakes over there in California. Hopefully it doesn't trigger something, but a lot of great paint schemes out there tonight, as always. As they come out of turn number 7 and start to head down these S's, and you can watch them bob and weave and serpentine around. And that's a very difficult part of this track as well. Just those S's, that's going to be a whole rhythm section. If you start to kind of get out of your rhythm just a little bit, That's not gonna be very helpful to your cause. As here we go, that pace truck coming down. He's gonna be making that turn into that pit road entryway just before this hairpin here in just a second. It means we'll be going to green flag racing for the first time here. Jonathan Osborne, Jess Vaught out here at the front through this hairpin, just a half a corner away from getting this thing started off. And here we go as that green flag is now waving off and running for 50 laps here at Sonoma. Vigilante Racing League underway as the 81 getting squirrely as he goes up that hill. Oh, he's already sideways making contact with Jess Vaught. That's going to cause a whole checkup of the field. Jess Vaught almost able to drive away there. Man, Jonathan Osborne's dealing with a very twitchy truck right now, as the 55 of Wittenberg and the 84 of Buettner were side by side. Oh no, Ricky going off down into that terrible grass there. He's going to be losing quite a few spots as Jonathan Osborne now tries to catch back on up to that back bumper of Jess. Already getting a little bit of spacing going on. Has got some tire smoke as they exit that section of the track and head on down into these S's. You got Justin French already up a couple spots now into that top 5 in that 202 truck. Man, he's doing some great work trying to keep that truck moving.
Rob Green, another one of your victims that just ended up in that dead grass there, just out of 6 going into 7.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of that tonight. You know, everybody has a different braking point, and you know how narrow this track is, and wearing out the tires and whatnot. Rob Green's turned around. The 91.
Oh no!
221.
Looks like
Right with him.
yeah, same thing with Earl Evans. We had a big pile up there in the hairpin as these guys are trying to trickle their way on through. Timothy Pope already up quite a few spots. He's now up to that 16th, but man, he's already missing some paint from that truck as they start to make their way up this hill once again. You got Kelly Keel right there as well. He's trying to hold off Eric Klafka in that 88 as they come down that hill. Seeing some great racing going on from those guys as Jonathan Osborne trying to close in there on the 33 of Jess Vaught, just trying to maybe make up for that little mistake that he made, as Mike Everidge has a bit of an issue.
Oh, we got 2 more trucks around. You got the 15 of Jeff Green. And who is that down at the bottom of the hill? I saw somebody else spin around down there.
I only saw Green, but it's slippery out there. The temperature is hot on the track, and I think that's, you know, playing into it, along with the tires and all the how narrow it is.
Well, and these guys, so they're on lap 2. They should have a start. They're starting to get that pressure built up in them tires, and hopefully help with their grip level a little bit. But with all the turning you have to do here, you got to wonder how these guys can stretch the life of these tires out.
As George Rincon able to get around Josh Buettner, who had a bit of an issue after running the fastest lap of the race so far, kind of getting lost in that dirt. He's going to lose a few positions there, so he's going to have to try to climb that mountain to get back up there, as Mike Everidge is side by side with the 37 of Dustin Reilly as they make their way up and down this hill. And man, that pink monster truck at Dustin Reilly not giving him much space as they almost do a jump coming off of that curve. Oh man, Timothy Pope right behind him, almost drilling that tire barrier coming down and into this final section of the track.
Dustin Reilly, he's either very uncomfortable out there, or he's really, really trying to save some tires. Oh man, he almost had a collision there.
And Timothy Pope with a very aggressive line through that section of the S's, using every inch of that curb that he possibly can. He wants to get up to that front and do his full-on charge from the rear like he did last week. But man, that truck is already starting to get banged up just a bit.
He knows about them couple of fast repairs, doesn't he, Adam?
Oh yeah, he learned about them for sure. But
Oh,
yeah, I was
no.
watching. What do we have now?
As Kelly Keel spins out as they
Oh,
start.
and Ricky.
And Ricky, as they're coming up this hill, that is a very tricky section of the track, I guess. Wasn't expecting to see too much issues there, but it just might be how the trucks get loaded and how much throttle input you're putting in. As
Keel's off track again.
Well, here's the deal. These trucks aren't meant for this. I mean, so weird things happen at a road course when you're putting these trucks down on the track. They're fighting it the best they can.
that they can, as the 81 of Osborne looking to the outside of Jess Vaught as they enter into the hairpin here. Man, Osborne really caught up there the last couple laps to the back bumper of Vaught. He's going to try to figure out a way to get around him, but we'll just have to wait and see. Both Osborne and Vaught taking part in that Daytona 24-hour race that went on just a couple of weeks ago. So they might have be using a little bit of that experience during that to try to implement it here into these trucks.
Deion Jones.
Number 4, Deion Jones, really had a rough backstretch there.
A couple of drivers narrowly avoiding disaster there as the 4 Deion Jones. And he tried to hang on to it though, didn't he, Adam?
He did. He rode that tire wall, and then he just got punched right back out of traffic. Luckily, everyone avoided him there.
So these guys don't seem to be having as much trouble with turn 6 as I thought they would, because it's greater than 90 degrees. I mean, this thing, that's a crazy turn. But these guys don't seem to be having a whole heck of a lot of trouble with it. Just mostly on exit, getting loose by trying to put power back down a little bit too hard, a little too early. But not a whole lot of brake lockups or anything going into 6.
Oh no, as the 202 of Justin French goes for a wild ride here, coming out of these S's and towards that, that final hairpin turn. It's now got Mike Everidge trying to squeeze his way by. You can see the smoke from the tire lockup going on there. Almost some contact there with the 55 and the 202 as well. As man, this track, it's wide enough to go too wide, but with how these trucks are driving, man, I don't know how often you want to do it.
And in the hairpin, do it at your own risk. I mean, we saw it was really tight right there with him and Ricky Whitberg trying to get through there. But yeah, the 202, old Frenchie out there, Justin French in the 202. I love that Miller Lite paint scheme with the stars and stripes on there as well.
As we got Jess Vaught and Jonathan Osborne already starting to catch up to some of this lap traffic here on lap number 6. They're going to have to try to figure out a way to get around him. I think that's the 15 of Jeff Green. No, maybe not. It might be the 91 of Rob
French
Green.
Again.
Yeah, 202 lost it again. It's just slippery out there and narrow.
Every time I hear the name Frenchie, I think of Frenchie Burke. You might know who that is.
I think like a French bulldog or something.
Well,
fiddle player.
Speaking of Burke, let's go to Jeremiah Burke in that 753, coming through the hairpin right now with Timothy Pope all back there in his rearview mirror. Jeremiah Burke up 17 spots, done very well, keeping it clean here. 0 off track so far, so he's been doing a pretty solid job with that truck. Just trying to keep it clean, keep it calm, get to that halfway point, and who knows, we might see him make a late charge or just keep doing what he's doing, because he's been doing a great job of just moving up by other people's mistakes.
So let's talk strategy, guys, as far as pitting and stuff goes. What do you guys think about splitting the first stage in half? What do you guys think? Think they'll try to come in here and pit in about another few laps or so and try to split this stage in half?
Man, that's
12 or 13.
That's going to be a tough one. It's going to. I think it's a matter of if they can make it to the stage end. I think they might try to save it all the way up until that point. But if they can't, then yeah, I don't see why not splitting this in half. But at the same time, it's all about how hard are you going to be on those tires. I mean, we've seen a lot of people have some spins and going through the dirt and grass and hard impacts on those curbs. You know, you got to be careful out there. You got to take care of that equipment.
Yeah, and we really don't know when the exact competition caution is going to come out, right? Just somewhere midway. Is it going to be perfectly midway this week?
Yes, it is.
Right at okay, so that's something new. They like to change things here. They're all about change. But
yeah, sometimes it's a rain, but I think it's
a rain. That could be, but yeah, then I think you're going to have to split it. Would be my guess at some point. But only time will tell, because these guys are tearing through these tires.
So that kind of would throw off, a strategy. I would have tried to make it a two-stop race, but with the competition caution, splitting the race directly in half, that's not really. You can't really do that. If you could, but you'd be screwing yourself, I think. So,
yeah.
Oh man. Jablonski was sent around by Frenchie there, Justin French. He apologized on the radio. He obviously did not mean to do that.
Oh no! And Robert Jordan having an issue here coming out of that carousel or hairpin, as well, being sent around. Maybe a little too much go pedal there, trying to get the truck back up to speed as. Jess Vaught continues to lead this race, doing a very good job up there at the front. Same thing with Jonathan Osborne. They have really run away from the field here, up 7.5, almost 8 seconds here on the next closest person, and that's that 28 of George Rincon.
Yeah, George is not going to burn his tires up trying to catch everybody up there because he knows the caution's coming in, about 15 laps. So he's going to try to take care of his tires and just survive because he knows everybody's just going to get re-racked. So he's going to hang out. He's got a lot of distance behind him, too. He's got a buffer zone in front and behind. So George Rincon kind of doing the smart thing. Just trying to keep it on the racetrack right now. Hold those distances.
Oh, no, as Jonathan Osborne takes a little spin himself through the that hairpin as he tries to get things back up and running. So he's lost a whole bunch of time from Jess Vaught, and so now Jess got a little bit of breathing room, maybe doesn't have to push it quite so hard, and we're just gonna have to see what's gonna happen here once we reach that midway point. So the caution flag will come out on lap 24 when the leader goes on to lap 24 here. That will be when we re-rack everything and get everybody all backed up. But right now you got Jeremiah Burke. Oh no, man! As John Herzig goes off into the dirt there, as Ricky Wittenberg and Jeremiah are both nose to tail here with Timothy Pope right behind them. That's a battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. You also got a little bit of a battle going on here. Dustin really finally being able to pull away from Jeffrey Ottinger just a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we're spread out, but we still got a couple races going on here across the racetrack as the 7 of Russ Kilgore looking to crawl his way up from kind of the depths of the back from starting all the way back there, as Jonathan Osborne looks like he might have had another. Nope, I think he's all right.
So we have dynamic sky and everything going on here. We had some cloud cover over most of the racetrack. Now it looks like the sun's out on half of the racetrack, and shade is on the southern side of the racetrack. And so track tips have come down some. So right at 90 degrees, we're at 116 earlier. So that's going to benefit these drivers, maybe help them get just a touch more grip. I know it's not going to help them a whole ton, but any little thing to help them out right now as these tires start to get pretty worn out. Should be seeing some pit stops happening here in the next 3 laps if some guys are going to try to split these stages.
Yeah, it's I would agree with that statement. If they do that, as of right now, I think everybody is still out there running. I think Jeff Green having a little bit of an issue there. He's been in the pits for quite a while, but other than that, everybody else still out there on the racing surface, as Ricky is still trying to hold off that 728 of Tim Pope and Jeremiah Burke, as Brian Jablonski and Russ Kilgore have a little bit of a battle going on between them, as, man, that 2 of Albert Anderson jumped in here saying he was kind of pretty happy to just start in the back and keep it smooth, keep it calm, man. 0 incidents so far. That America's driver, number 2, doing a heck of a job of that.
That's an admirable thing, getting 0x here, isn't it, Adam? This is hard.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys are having an underwhelming day, just going off the track and everything, but Albert is not. He's overperforming, he's driving spot on, and I expect nothing less from America's driver. He's probably put a lot of practice laps in here.
Well, it's about preparation. You don't want to come into a race like this underprepared. We want to thank Adam Strom for joining us on YouTube. He says, "Even if Ellis, how's it going there, eh?" He's not Canadian, but he's close. He's from Minnesota.
Close enough.
Thanks for joining us, Adam. And then, of course, Peyton McGowan saying, "Let's go, Buettner." Pulling for that 84. Thank y'all so much for watching. We appreciate every one of you.
Ooh, as we got a little bit of lap traffic situation going on here with the 257 of Russ Endicott, Ricky Wittenberg, Tim Pope, able to squeeze everybody all the way by as they went through those S's. That's a very difficult place to pass there, as that's kind of like a one-line kind of thing. Otherwise, it really doesn't go too well for you. But, man, so far, this is the race to watch right now with Wittenberg, Pope, and Burke. These guys are all nose to tail, doing a fantastic job, just trying to race this one all the way to that midway caution. But you also got people like the 07 of Jack Dixon, who's had a little bit of an up and down day, as another truck there.
He just lost 2 spots.
Yeah,
Ricky Wittenberg. Sorry,
55
buddy.
got into the dirt there. Got excited. Did you there, English?
Yeah, I cut Mr. Brown off. I'm sorry about that.
He did have a little problem. Sorry about that, Brown.
Oh, it's all good, as Jeffrey Ottinger now goes for a little bit of a ride coming out of that hairpin turn. And, man, I was expecting maybe trucks going a little too deep, maybe hitting that outside wall. We've seen more trucks spin to the inside than we have seen them hit the outside.
I did not expect that. I really didn't. I didn't watch any practices here or anything, so I didn't know how these guys were managing these corners, but so far, not too bad.
Yeah, Buettner had to get through number 4, Dion, right
Jones,
there. And Dion Jones, yeah, he did it. And Dion Jones keeping a pretty clean truck in a chrome Goodwrench machine. Good looking truck.
But other than a couple of those outliers, of Dustin Reilly, currently in 13th, doing a pretty good job. He's also not run off the track a single time quite yet. Same thing with Jeffrey Ottinger. He hasn't officially run off track. Looks like he's gotten rear-ended at least once. As his bumper kind of looks like a wedge right now. But, we got the Jess Vaught up there. Not a single incident whatsoever other than that first lap thing with Jonathan Osborne. He's been solid all race long so far. Same thing with that 28 of George Rincon. George has done a fantastic job sitting there in third, just kind of going about his business. He's actually even closed up the gap quite a bit. It was about 7 seconds. It's now down to, call it 3.5, as he continues to chip away at some of this lead that Vaught and Osborne have on the rest of this field.
We have a taker in the pits right now. Did catch who it was, but they're definitely coming in.
A 214. 214.
Oh, yeah, black flag.
Is that
He's
right?
got a black flag. He's in there serving a penalty, it looks like. Don't know what that would have been for. May have been a speeding in the pits penalty. Who knows? Ooh-wee, the 203 going deep. 14 Herzig overshot that turn there. Ooh, you talk about hot, sending it in here hot. A couple of these.
Yeah,
203 big time loose.
It's pretty easy to do so. It's very narrow.
Yep.
Your brakes are probably getting hot. Your tires are wearing down. And the track is hot. I mean, you got a lot of things against you here as you're driving this thing around the track.
Well, we sure appreciate everybody watching us out there on Facebook, on YouTube, and on the Twitch stream.
Before Deion Jones goes
Yeah,
dirt tracking right there in front of
watching.
Eric Klafko. Ooh, man, that was a great job to hold on to that one. He's now got Timothy Pope trying to come on up through. You got Jeremiah Burke and Ricky Wittenberg also trying to come up on through. How about that 221 of John Ellis as he goes flying by that 07 of Jack Dixon, I believe. And, man, John Ellis, one of those newcomers who's been very well at some of these oval tracks. Still doing a pretty good job here. Found his way up to that top 10 from the kind of rear of the field here. So he's not doing too bad himself.
Looks like Russ Kilgore has disconnected, so his night will be done. I don't know if he was having a rough night, he just didn't want to deal with it, or it was a computer issue. Lots of problems out here with Everidge on the track 82. Kind of getting rear-ended a little bit.
Same thing here with the 17 of Brian Jablonski. That truck is all tore up and got little bits and pieces hanging off there. Is now Timothy Pope trying to figure out a way to get around that 82 of Everidge.
We saw Jeremiah Burke earlier. He must have been listening to us talking about trying to outbrake your buddy. As he tried that outbraking maneuver right there as going into the hairpin earlier on Pope, but it wasn't quite close enough to make it work. I was hoping he would try to make something happen there. This is a few laps ago, of course. But thinking maybe Pope may try that next time around. We'll see here.
As both Pope and Everidge head up these S's, man, looks like Pope using that curving to all of its effect, trying to maybe get that truck to rotate a little bit better as they kind of come up and crest these hills. And then here we go, the wild ride right back down. Man, Pope getting very loose there, able to keep it under control and still be all over that back bumper at Everidge.
That's a quick hand on the steering wheel, isn't it? That truck wiggled a little bit, but he held on to it.
But that part of the track, where you're going uphill for so long, then you go downhill, it is almost like a roller coaster right there. It's kind of crazy, the elevation change. So
yep. Yeah, think about it.
They're handling it well, though.
It's the same way in a roller coaster, or when you're going down old gravel road in the hills or something. You get to the top of the hill, you kind of feel the negative G's happening. Feel the suspension unload, and you're losing nothing but grip there.
Looks like Mike Everidge in that 82 might have just let Timothy Pope got by, because Tim Pope flew absolutely right around him as they were exiting those S's and into that hairpin.
Yeah, the 214, Jeffrey Ottinger, was claimed by the hairpin after they passed him, of course, but had a little bit of trouble.
I was listening in, and Everidge did let him around. I don't think he wanted to fight with Pope over that position, and Pope is super fast everywhere he goes, man. That boy can drive.
Well, it's a 100-mile race at a 2-mile road course, so I mean, they've got a lot of racing to do. So, yeah, go ahead, let him go now to take some of the pressure off. Just keep your truck clean. It's early. You got lots of time.
That it is, as the 202 of Justin French is having a little battle here with that 37 of Dustin Really. Both trucks, two different lines going through that hairpin, and both trucks having difficulties coming out of it, so there's still going to be really no winners or losers coming out of that one. Still nose to tail, as Russ Endicott having another issue back there.
So Jess Vaught making his way around lap traffic, still leading this race. Not winning it yet, but still leading this race. Making tracks, man. Jonathan Osborne about 2.5 seconds to his rear. And, of course, George Rincon still maintaining that gap behind him.
Yeah,
staying with the podium guy.
The beautiful thing is it's going to re-rack. We're going to have a re-rack.
Exactly.
So it's almost going to be like 2 races within the race. So I think they're learning a little bit more about the track and themselves and their truck as it goes along. But I think the second half is going to be pretty cool because, these guys are racing for money, man. So it's going to get a little bit more dicey, I would believe.
As Buettner goes around a lap truck. The track's starting to rubber in. That's one of the things that iRacing built into their simulation here. What is it, Adam? It's a simulation, not a game, right? So
Yeah, I mean, most times, I don't, today I think it's a game, but when you're talking oval stuff, definitely a simulation. But the track temperature actually has gone down. I think we're 106 to start this thing. We're at 89 right now on the track.
I think at one point.
Well, we're at 89 degrees now. I don't know how it gets so cool so fast.
Cloud cover.
Pouring wine out there on the track or whatever, but it's definitely cooled down. So that could be part of that rubbering in factor you were talking about.
But it's just neat to see where the cars are running. It's starting to get darker. The tires are starting to blacken up the track, right where the tires are losing rubber. Now, what that also means is just outside of that hard turning zone, like right there you see in 6, there's going to be marbles there. So if you get a little bit too wide and you get in those marbles, it's going to be just as loose as it would be if there was grease out there. If the folks watching, y'all don't know what marbles are. It's chunks of rubber that just come off of these tires as they wear, and it builds up just outside of the racing line. And those, with your tires being as hot as they are, it can pick up pieces of the tire, the marbles, and you lose traction pretty quick.
Man, the 728 absolutely diving it in on the 88 of Eric Klafka, using that inside kind of section of the hairpin to finish off the turn and get that position away. So Timothy Pope now back up into that top 5, and we're just a few laps away from taking to this kind of caution flag midway here through this race.
Russ Endicott, one of our rookies, he was one of our biggest fan watchers and stuff in this league last season. He's a rookie this season. He's having a little bit of trouble in that hairpin. He kind of lost it and saw a bunch of guys coming, but he let them go, got out of their way and let them go. But Russ Endicott got a pretty clean truck.
Here's something interesting, too. I just heard one of the race stewards come over the radio channel, and Burke's around 753. Just a little bit. And they closed the pits. So the pits are closed. You will get a black flag. I guess they're closing them until the competition caution.
I gotcha. A lot of these guys making a one-stop deal, putting all their eggs in that one basket.
I'm guessing fuel's not going to be an issue.
You really kind of have to.
Yeah, so I guess fuel's not an issue here. I mean, just the tire wear, and everybody's going to be on the same tires, so works for me.
That's Justin French again having a little bit of an issue there, going off the track, but able to continue rolling on here. But that's the other thing too. Even if your truck's damaged, we see Tim Pope's truck, it's all smashed up, and we've seen quite a few trucks out here that have been quite a bit smashed up there. Oh my goodness. As man, I think that was don't know who that was. Might have been the 80 or something, I don't know, but almost getting into those tire barriers. Saving those fast repairs here for later on in this race. just knowing, hey, we're going to get things stacked back up. Everything will be all right. We just need to get to this point, and we'll try to survive and maybe push our luck from there. As here comes Jess Vaught up and over the hill. Gonna be got that white and yellow flag out there waving, so we're gonna be taken to a caution here in just a second. Coming back down the hill now as Eric Klafka tries to reel in just a little bit more. That 728 of Timothy Pope, now that he's dealing with a little bit of traffic going on right there in front of him. Oh man, that's the 203 truck spinning right around. Oh, able to get around it there, the spinning truck of Earl Evans. So Jess Vaught through these S's, and just a few, call it a quarter mile away from basically winning flag to flag here in this first stage. Had a great battle there with Jonathan Osborne, but then Jonathan having that little bit of an issue. So we'll see if Jonathan can't recover here and regroup everything, get that confidence back, and race Jess Vaught here and see who picks up the win. Either way, Jess Vaught making that turn, coming across the line. Yellow flag is out. That is going to be the stage. There it is.
There it is. Yeah, I was waiting with bated breath. Keep in mind, folks, we're halfway done here. We haven't chosen a fan of the race yet, so keep that in mind, guys. Keep the comments flowing on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, however you're watching us tonight. Hit us up with your comments on the race. I guess there's not a lot of road course fans out there tonight, but if you're out there watching, please comment and let us know your thoughts on the race, because we got to pick a fan of the race, Adam.
Here's the deal. It's Daytona week. I'm just be honest with you. Nobody is thinking about turning right this week. So a lot of people are watching those Daytona, all that stuff, and I don't blame them. But
yeah,
hey, that's where we are tonight. I mean, we're in California. We're turning right. Let's make the best of it. Let's hear from some folks so we can give away some money, man.
Heck yeah, man. I'm all about that. Because it ain't my money, Give away some
that
money.
makes it even better.
I've never had this much power. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna let it go to my head.
Power. You're trying to get people engaged in this thing. Power. Yes. Hang on, we'll have a talk after this.
Gotta set me straight every now and then, man.
As that pace truck finally peels off of pit road, so we're gonna get everything all stacked back up here and re-racked. I'm sure everybody's gonna be coming down to hit their pit stops and try to get the best possible finish they can here, especially in this second half of the race. And man, we saw the field get pretty well spread out out of everybody that's still running out there. It looks like that 15 of Jeff Green is back out there running. I think he might have accidentally unchecked the fast repair button,
I think you're right.
And he was sitting in there for quite a while, but he's back out there running. So out of the 25 trucks, we're down to 24, so still a pretty good job.
That's not bad, man. I don't want to sound too terribly surprised, but I kind of am that we have 24 out of the 25 starters still out there running. Oh no, somebody just hit the wall at the top of the hill there. What was that? Green? Was that Green in the 91?
Well, they're talking about running out of fuel out there on the track, so people are running out of fuel at this point.
So what does that do to the final stage here? This Green runs off again under yellow.
I think Green's steering might be a little jacked up, trying to get that truck back around to the pit lane, but here comes the leaders down pit road here.
And we're not even to halfway, folks, so if guys are having fuel issues, we might have some people split in the last stage. I think it's going to be mandatory. I mean, if they're getting low fuel pressure now, we still got 2 laps to complete after this one to get to halfway.
As here we go, we're going to have that race
Ellis
coming off of pit road. Jess Vaught is going to win that one as Jonathan Osborne then peels off. Same thing by George Rincon and Josh Buettner. Timothy Pope making up a couple extra spots, still back there in 5th. And looks like here comes the big charge of people coming down. You had the 14, you got the 204, the 82, the 55. Of course, not all of those were for position. Some of these people are a lap down, but everybody coming down that time to get new trucks and get everything all shinied up. As the Just Vaught now has to kind of get back up and catch that pace truck, which is in the middle of those S's right now. And I think fuel-wise, I think we'll be okay. As it's going to be one of those questionable things. They might split it if they push it a little extra hard, or you might start seeing people save a little bit just to make sure they can make it here to the end.
I don't know, man. If we had several trucks that had to be pushed into the pits, I think Ellis was one of them, I believe, that requested a push from another truck.
I think he made it, but he was on fumes. It was just...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's interesting how they're all starting to run out of gas right there halfway. So we know now our fuel threshold. Our tires are definitely gone. So, I don't know. It'd be interesting if some of these guys think they might want to split this and get a splash of fuel, maybe right side, left. I guess you don't just need right side tires here, do you? You need them all.
You really need balance here. But if you're gonna split the stage, you might not need to take a full tank. You know what I mean? You could take 2/3 and still be good, probably, if you split the stage. So that'll save you a little bit of time, especially if you took fuel only and no tires, just gas and go. Now my brain's starting to work here. It took a couple of cold drinks and 25 laps, but I'm starting to think. I'm starting to use my critical thinking skills now.
15 just went around under caution. That was fun.
17 also in the grass at the top of the hill. That's Brian Jablonski.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you got your little brain working. I'm still way behind.
My little brain?
I didn't.
Oh, come on.
I didn't mean it was little and
Like
for size. No, not the size. I mean, what's inside there may be a little smaller, but not the size.
No!
Turning around again.
Guys are wrecking.
Well, they're trying to catch up to the leader, and there's mayhem on the track, so they're gonna have to have another caution lap. Looks like to me.
And look, the pace truck. Okay, this is a long road course track. The pace truck is around here, basically hauling butt. So everybody's having to try to close the gap and catch up to the rear of the field. It's for some of these guys, it's really hard to get there, especially if you're not used to this track and you're basically racing to the back of the field under caution, but trying to stay in order. And let's face it, not everybody's on equal footing as far as skill goes at these road courses. Race admins did come over the radio and said that if you guys are not able to catch the back of the field, you may get a black flag. But if you have one weak link in the chain, you know what I mean? You can't pass under yellow, obviously. So you're stuck behind the guy that is trying to catch the back of the field and maybe not doing so hot. at trying to make that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those kind of tricky things going on here as the lights on that pace truck are out once again. So looking to go back to green flag racing here with pretty much the final 22 laps. Everybody all stacked back up and ready to go. Just fought up here at the front with Jonathan Osborne right behind him. George Rincon there in third with Josh Buettner fourth. Timothy Pope fifth. Eric Klafka in sixth. The 82 and Mike Everidge in seventh. Ricky Wittenberg eighth. John Ellis in ninth. And Jeremiah Burke rounding out that top 10 here. Restarting to go back to green flag racing. And here we go back up the hill once again. Trucks going all out here in this final half of this race. Jonathan Osborne still right there on that tail of Just Vaught, but man, we got a whole bunch of cars right there all stacked up now once again.
Brakes locking up. Kelly Kill got an EOL. I'm not sure what happened there, why he got an EOL, but I'm not sure that all the trucks that were supposed to get around him got around him. He might be asking for a black flag cleared as we got a truck in the wall going down a hill here. Not sure what happened there, but got another truck spinning off the track coming out of 6, going into 7. Cold tires, guys.
204 of Robert Jordan having some issues there going through the grass as the action up here at the front is all nose to tail as the 81 of Osborne. Oh no, in the worst possible spot to do it. Everyone's able to sneak by him, but he tags that wall very hard here. Jonathan Osborne looking to attack that 33 of Just Vaught, just losing a little bit of control.
Big pile up over here. We had Green spun around the 204. T-boned Rob Green because he couldn't go anywhere. Kelly Kill flew into the mix. He had 3 pretty tore up trucks right there coming out of the what is that, 8 and 8 Alpha.
It's 30 lap 800. I mean, turn 400. I don't know, but these guys are starting to they're starting to feel it out there. Something's going on with the track. It's changed, or the tires, I guess, the new tires. I mean, I don't know. They're struggling now.
85-degree track temp. Hey, just like you say, tires are still a little cold. Hadn't built up pressure in them yet. Green just blew the motor, but it looks like he made it back to his pit stall. Hopefully.
202 was around somewhere in like turn 30.
And coming through these S's, he's able to get that thing back up and running. As he's got a whole mob of people right there behind him. As the 17 of Brian Jablonski, he's all over that back bumper of the 4 of Dion Jones, looking to maybe make a move here kind of towards this rear of the field, as George Rincon's going to be starting to feel a little bit of heat from the 84 of Josh Buettner, who's got himself a new truck here and trying to claw his way up through this field. But don't look now. That 728 of Timothy Pope crawled his way all the way from the back. Once again, he's peeking on that back bumper of Buettner to creep up into one of those podium spots.
Before Dion Jones is around right at the start-finish line.
Oh, man, I'm so glad he got it back straight before that traffic got to him. I was afraid he'd be sideways when they got there. Because the track is, it's not very wide, is it? I mean,
no, it's very, very narrow. I mean, I can't say it enough. It's narrow out there, guys. Y'all need to be careful.
Ron Dixon joining us on Facebook. Thanks so much, Ron. Always on here pulling for Jack the Ripper. He said he's so glad to see left turns only next week.
You and me both.
Probably most of these drivers are thinking the same thing.
I would find myself daydreaming if I had to turn this much in a race with the right turns. It's a little too much thinking out there for a guy like me.
Also on the over on the YouTube stream, we got GC Mustang LX. A couple of us know who that is. saying there are road course fans here, just not Sonoma fans. I'm kind of with you on that. I like Watkins Glen. I do not like Sonoma, at least as a driver. So thanks, Greg, for joining us. We appreciate you. Peyton McGowan says that the 84 is number 4 in the standings, but number 1 in her heart.
Oh, well, so we had Valentine's Day this week, so that's like a feel-good story of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's not number 4 yet, as he's still in 3rd, but he's also knocking on that back bumper of the 28 of George Rincon, trying to maybe get his way up into 2nd there, as Robert Jordan having another issue there. He's going to be towing his way to the pits. As got quite a few people having issues on this kind of last restart here, trying to get things going back and maybe finding their rhythm once again.
Even in the season standings, number 4 driver right now is Austin Paul. The way iRacing calculates this is these guys got a couple of drop weeks. So right now, this is the 3rd race. So basically, it's canceled out some points for these guys. So right now, Austin Paul is number 4.
And he's decided not to show up tonight. This might have been a wise decision.
I'm telling you, man, this is.
I wouldn't have shown up. This is mayhem. It's brutal. It's very rough to be out here driving these trucks. I know I've done it before, and
it's mentally taxing, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is when you have a track you're not used to. Right turns, which you're not really used to. There's not drafting, bump drafting. There's not much teamwork in this on a track like this. So it's just a lot of things you got to think about. And your car fades as the day goes on. You got to change your braking points. Is the guy behind you going to change his? And there's really a lot that happens out here. And I don't think these guys are totally used to it as the 4 went around again on just going up the hill.
As the 84 Josh Buettner took that inside line here going through that hairpin, so he's going to be side by side with George Rincon for 2nd. He's able to get the pass done right before they start to go up that hill. Man, oh man, great pass there from Josh Buettner. That's something he might have picked up there from that endurance racing.
He may have. I don't know. Looking at this track looks like it's too narrow for motorcycles.
No, as the 28 of George Rincon goes around, so that's going to give that 3rd place spot away to the 728 of Timothy Pope. He's going to have some work to do as Eric Klafka trying to close in the gap here to Pope. Same thing with John Ellis. He's one of those ones like Tim Pope, from the back up to the front, now up into a top 5 spot.
He's going to be one exciting driver to watch this season, the 221 of John Ellis. One of your rookies here. He's just, me and Adam talked about it last week, but he's just a natural talent. That makes me hate him, man. He just got on iRacing. I've been doing iRacing a couple weeks, and he's over there just kicking ass. It's just one of those guys that has natural talent.
Maybe he has really good equipment. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's definitely good at it.
Hell
He
yeah.
should keep going. Took me years to stay terrible.
Almost spit my beer out on that.
As a 753 of Jeremiah Burke all over that back bumper of George Rincon, trying to move up that ladder as the 01 of Kelly Keel takes a little trip through the dirt going up the hill there, able to keep it going straight, but that is unfortunately the long way to go around this racetrack. It's not the rallycross circuit, I should say, here tonight. This is just the newer, well, kind of the old/newer layout here for these NASCAR trucks tonight.
Rallycross racing here is fun, though. I know we've all participated in it. It's a lot of fun. There's some high-speed sections in there going down towards where the drag strip's at.
Yeah, you were talking about go-karts. I put a different car on this track. Maybe it'd be a little bit a little bit different here. These trucks are wide and they're not.
Yeah.
They're like bricks. I don't think they're meant to do stuff like this most of the time. So.
But they're still getting the job done as Jess Vaught is starting to open up that lead just a little bit more over Josh Buettner. About a second and a half right now as they go up the hill and then back down. Jess Vaught, man, he has had this thing on lock. He picked up his first win here in Vigilante pretty late last year at Milwaukee, and he's definitely showing that he's got the skills to get the job done here today.
I think at America's Driver, he's behind the 202 of Justin French. That is for position. We've seen both of these guys. Well, we've seen the 202's been very, very loose.
Yeah,
but the 2 is giving him a wide berth. He's giving him plenty of room. These guys are just trying to survive and try to move up. They are one lap down, though.
I'm going to be honest with you. If you're behind that 202 right now, you want to be a little careful. He has been off track quite a bit, and he's just been on his way through it, but he's still out there.
I'd be in the same boat, man. This ain't my cup of tea, brother.
I don't think it's mine as well.
It's as well as that. Oh no, the 37 of Dustin really was sideways across the track right in front of Albert Anderson there, able to get around him, but all over that back bumper of Anderson is also that 07 of Jack the Ripper Dixon. Not the race that he's necessarily wanted here today, but he's definitely been putting in the laps, trying to get his best finishing position possible out of this race as he locks everything up, maybe got a little loose, trying to get everything back under control as the 37 of Dustin really is going to go right back around him, taking that very far inside line. Little bit of a check up there, and they're back to a race in action as Jeremiah Burke has Ricky Wittenberg all over that back bumper of him right now too.
If anybody deserves an award tonight, it might be Albert Anderson for the Golden Dodgeball Award, as he has seen some adversity happen in front of him and just got on the brakes, dodged it. What is it? Dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge. He's done it all tonight, so you got to be on your toes here at a road course because these guys don't do it very often.
I think he's playing it conservative, which is smart. He'll end up gaining a spot or so, I think, from where he's at. This, for sure, is a marathon and not a sprint here at Sonoma. It's been an interesting race.
As we had some lap traffic incidents happening right in front of the leaders here as Jess Vaught has seen that lead.
Sorry, bud. Klafka just gave every bit of his bumper to the 257.
Really, he's around 37. Man, you're screaming like we're in the middle of a club.
I'm sorry.
I thought we talked about this screaming and hollering.
Well, damn it, Dad. You can finish your... You can...
Where's the rally train?
I know we're already going to have a talk after this one. Anyway, so just add it to the list.
It'll be on the list, don't worry.
As the 33 of Vaught has seen that lead kind of be ripped away here by Josh Buettner. Josh all over that back bumper, trying to figure out a way to get around cleanly that 33 of Vaught. But all the while, Timothy Pope lurking right there in that background has been closing in as well. You had John Ellis here. He's been making up some ground. He's now behind that 88 of Eric Klafka pretty well, looking to maybe sneak his way up into a fourth place position here. As these guys are starting to close in on the 10 laps to go mark.
Yeah, this battle up front is very, very close.
I'd be getting close to dumping him at this point if I was the 84.
Well, I mean, once it comes down to, hey, if it's going to be you or me, in the last couple of laps, it might be time for some bump and run action. Oh, looking to the outside here, Buettner trying to outbrake the 33, but
Oh, and here comes Pope, and Pope loses it under braking. That was getting very close. Oh my goodness.
Well, that got a little interesting at the. We were just trying to watch the top two guys. Pope came in there and looked like he tried to assassinate him. Worked out, I guess. Nobody else, no harm, no foul.
two guys in a braking contest, and Pope was right behind him. He wasn't really a player in the braking contest and said, "Oh, damn, I better get on it." Locked him up, spun it around.
Yeah, player 3 had entered the game and is now
Yes.
now exited it for the time being. He's got still quite a few laps, as we've got 11 laps to go to try to close that gap back up. But man, Jess Vaught and Josh Buettner, this is going to be the battle as Jess Vaught goes a little too far, trying to push that braking zone. So Josh Buettner able to pounce right away and take the lead away from Jess.
How cool is the Vigilante report going to be this upcoming week if Josh Buettner, who's one of the hosts, picks up a win at Sonoma on the road course? That's going to be an exciting broadcast. You guys have never heard it, well, check out SoundCloud.com and search the Vigilante report under Ricky Wittenberg's name. I think it's still under his name, but it's hosted by Albert Anderson and Josh Buettner, and these guys do one heck of a job running down the previous week's race and a preview to the upcoming races. You get a lot of background information, so go check them out. The Vigilante Report on SoundCloud.
Well, all that was going on all the way at the front, still kind of towards the front. We had John Ellis manage to get his way around that 88 of Eric Klafka, who's now got the 28 of George Rincon, trying to claw his way back up from the little mistake that he had made and inch his way forward amongst these standings, as everybody's all really starting to kind of get spread out here. And it looks like we are down to 22 trucks still running here.
Yeah, and thanks to Derek Welch for joining us on Facebook. We saw him running last night in the HCK race. He races for Numb Thumbs Racing. Go check out Numb Thumbs gaming community as well. They play all kinds of different games. They got an awesome Discord. If you're into it, they probably play it. But Eric's saying, "What's up, guys? This is my kind of racing." I talked to him the other night, and he had mentioned that he's not a big super speedway guy, but he likes the short tracks, and I guess he likes a little road course racing too. So thanks, Derek, for joining us on Facebook.
As man, that 28 of George Rincon wants to get around the 88 of Eric Klafka really, really bad, as we got another truck here. I think that was Russ Endicott off into the grass once again. I'll tell you our points leader for off tracks that I can see off the top of the board here in just a second, as George, man, he is using every inch of that possible racing surface to try to figure out a way to get around that 88.
He was in the top 3 for so long tonight, and then
and a little bit of a pick maneuver there, not on purpose, obviously, allowed George Rincon to get around, as the 221 was loose coming through turn number 7, making the 88 kind of adjust his line and having a bit of an issue there. So George Rincon using that little bit of a kind of distraction to sneak his way on through back up into this top 5, and now he's got to try to chase down that 221 of John Ellis.
Yeah, I can't believe this guy has been on iRacing about less than a month.
Yeah, I think
Ellis, so. He's up 12 spots, up in the 4th. He must have done some kind of other type of simulation racing somewhere, because he's definitely showing he knows what he's doing here.
I want to also thank Matt Forens for joining us on YouTube. He said he's not really a fan of Sonoma racing. but he's on here watching this. So thanks so much, Matt, for joining us tonight. Watching the racing that it might not be.
Oh, as we got a truck on the Exodus 6. Oh gosh, that got dicey.
Close. That was one of the rookie drivers there. I think that was the 20. Oh, hang on a second. I lost it.
204 of Robert Jordan.
Thank you, sir.
Well, and those guys, we need them to keep commenting because you can get the super fan of the race, make some money watching this race with us. We're just watching like hell in our living room, just sitting here, you know, checking it out. I've got my popcorn and cold beverage. We were just talking about it, trying to figure out. It's very narrow here, and where are we going to make our turns? Are we going to turn somebody to make our pass? I don't know. I would be turning people personally.
Well, we got Taver Mowry joining us on Facebook. He said, "What's up, my dudes?" He says they got a lot of exciting new things coming to broadcast on Friday nights. Lots of money and time been invested to make the broadcast worth watching over at M.TV. So thanks, Taver, for that. He said Sonoma is a tough race. A lot of it is on the elevation changes, which we talked about it. He said he's even thinking about taking his own Cup Series to Auto Club Road Course next season. What do you guys think about that?
I don't like it. I don't like any road course though.
I knew that was coming.
I'm here. I do like seeing, speed and tires and all that stuff, but it's difficult to. I know it's difficult as a driver to manage some of the mayhem here.
Well, this is 100 miles, and there's lots of shifting going on. I mean, we hadn't talked about that tonight. You got to shift here. This isn't, riding around Charlotte in fourth gear the whole time. You're actually having to downshift and figure out what's the best gear on exit here and that type of deal. And these guys are, they got their hands full, and you're going to do this for 100 miles. It's got to be mentally rough on these cats.
Oh, it most definitely is, as Jonathan Osborne's coming up on the back bumper of the 82. Mike Everidge trying to claw his way back up from one really big mistake, probably the biggest mistake he's made all race long, coming into that kind of final hairpin here, as Josh Buettner continues to lead this race now. He's found his way out to a 3+ second lead over Jess Vaught. So when Josh got out in front, man, he has never looked back. He's now trying to pass through some lap traffic here, and I keep going back to it, that and the endurance race and everything, but that's all coming into play here, dealing with some lap traffic, trying to minimize your mistakes and maximize the mistakes of other people to try to sneak your way through. And you saw it there. Jess Vaught has run basically a perfect race. And from what we've seen so far, I think that was his first actual mistake he made in that one corner. And man, Josh Buettner was right there ready to pounce.
Yeah, thanks to Chan the Man 72 for joining us on YouTube, saying let's go Ricky, pulling for the 55 of Ricky Wittenberg. Speaking of Ricky, he's our race sponsor for these races. D&D Race Graphics. You need a car painted, go check him out on Facebook. And the Keller Williams realty business that he's got. No matter where you're at in the United States, you need a house sold or bought, get a hold of Ricky. He can make it happen for you.
Yeah, market is super hot right now, so you might want to sell. Hang on to buy it. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm no
big
builder,
time
but it's
hot.
It's a good time to sell. I do know that.
As we're now in our closing laps here, 5 laps to go. Still some races to be had. Like we said, the 81 of Osborne trying to chase down that 82 of Everidge. Oh, as they both have to try to avoid some lap traffic here. 81 Osborne, great save there. Able to sneak around. Same thing with that 82 of Everidge. Able to avoid some calamity going on as they came back down the hill. We also got Eric Klafka trying to hold off that 55 of Ricky Wittenberg, who's had a heck of a battle here with Jeremiah Burke. But Burke has seemed to have fallen off just a little bit. John Ellis is also trying to hang on to that 4th place spot from George Rincon as well. George really trying to fight his way up through this field, and same thing with John Ellis, done a great job starting from the back, and now is all the way back up into 4th as the 4 of Dion Jones goes for a little bit of a ride here, going up the hill, trying to get it all back turned around as trucks are coming up and around him here.
Yeah, he's been going around quite a bit in that Chrome number 4 tonight. I got to give it to him. He's still out there putting those laps down.
And if you're watching out there on the streams, keep those comments coming. We got a couple of folks out there that aren't eligible to get it because they're either a driver or they're a boss or they're somebody else. So get those comments out there. We got to pick somebody. Y'all aren't making it easy on us tonight. Get those comments. Let us know how you think this thing's going to end. Do you think we got an upset guy coming? Because look at George Rincon. He's driving like a man possessed. He wants that podium position back. I'm not sure he's going to get there tonight, though.
Well, we're getting down to the end of this thing.
That we are, and this is where we're starting to maybe expect to see some fuel issues. Question is, will people have that enough fuel that to cross that line? See if anybody needs that extra little bit of a push, as Ricky Wittenberg is all over that back bumper of Eric Klafka now, and John Ellis is feeling the pressure from that 28.
Yeah, I'm feeling the pressure of this, the finish of this thing. I'm excited to see how it ends up.
Dustin really one of those guys that you don't usually hear him come over the radio and say, "Hey man, all y'all go around and go." He's usually one of those guys that's putting pressure on somebody. They're letting him around.
Real racing out there.
Man, I'm telling.
Left turn track, not this right turn nonsense we got going on. I mean, what is this, F1 in trucks? I'm confused.
As the 81 and the 82 sneak back up together here, coming through these S's one more time. And man, that 81 of Osborne was looking very promising in practice and qualifying, but just a couple of mistakes there kind of really cost him. He's still in a top 10 spot, and I mean, he's pretty securely in that top 10, but he's definitely had to fight through some adversity here tonight. As the 2 laps to go now, with Buettner still out in the lead by about 3 seconds, and then Jess Vought's got a well-cleared 9-second gap all the way back to Timothy Pope, who's also cleared by quite a few. Oh no, it's Timothy Pope having a little bit of an issue. That's going to allow John Ellis to sneak his way through. We're going to have to go back and see what happened to Pope there. As that was coming from back down the hill into turn number 7. And oh man, he just goes for a ride there. And that allowed people to squeeze on up and back around. So John Ellis, man, now he's in that podium spot. So we got George Rincon and John Ellis fighting for the final podium spot. Side by side they go. They're going to be coming across the line side by side. Man, that 221 using every inch of that track, squeezing George Rincon out wide. Josh Buettner still doing really good out in front here, coming back down this hill. He's might be taking this one a little easy, as Mike Everidge and Jonathan Osborne get into a little bit of an incident there. Man, this final lap is going crazy. Josh Buettner still, though, coming through these S's. He's got that healthy lead still of just over 2 seconds, as Timothy Pope, man, he's trying to fight and claw his way back up into this field somehow, some way to get back up a couple extra spots. As now Jeffrey Ottinger having another problem here out on this final lap. However, Josh Buettner one more turn and a half here through the hairpin, locking up those brakes. Just Vaught with one final last-ditch effort, trying to come up through the hairpin with a heck of a lot of speed. Not gonna be enough though. Josh Buettner wins here at Sonoma, as we're gonna have a drag race maybe coming across the line here with the 221 and the 28 as they're side by side, beating and banging through this final hairpin. Hard contact there with the 221 and the 28. Man, 28 of George Rincon beating and battling his way up into third.
He got it. That's what he was trying to do. Get back up there and get a top three. Oh, man, well fought. Albert Anderson sideways before he even got to the hairpin here.
John Ellis just made a crucial mistake at the end, and George Rincon took advantage. But nonetheless, if your first name starts with the letter J, you did pretty well tonight. All four of them,
yeah,
top four. So
great point.
Good little ending there.
You are definitely not joking about that, as I'm trying to see. I believe we ended up having 22 trucks finish here tonight. I believe that's what it was. So, because I actually have the screen up, just need to pull up the right page here. So we're going to click this button 3 times, and that's going to be the random driver's finishing position. Get a little bit of extra money here. So here we go. 1, 2, and 3. That's going to be the 6th place finisher is Mr. Ricky Wittenberg.
Wow. Awesome for Ricky.
Getting to keep a little bit of his own money here.
He won that a couple of races ago, too.
Yeah, he did. Last season, he sure did.
Well, I think one of the races last week or so, he won it. Hey, he's lucky. And he's the race sponsor, so he did a fun job tonight. Even got him a top 10 as well, so hey, good for him.
And on top of that, Peyton McGowan. This is the first time we've had a back-to-back winner on the fan of the race, but Peyton McGowan, active out there on the chats. I know this was a road course. We didn't get a whole lot of participation out there as far as eligible people go. But Peyton McGowan, your fan of the race once again tonight for Sonoma. So thank you so much, Peyton, for out there being out there watching us and supporting your man. And he did a heck of a job today coming away with this win.
Man, you are not kidding here. Well, let's start off with some driver interviews, and let's start off with a hard-fought third place finisher here, and that's the 28 of George Rincon. George, man, talk about that looked like it was crazy difficult to drive around there all 50 of those laps, but you did a heck of a job here to finish in third. But not only that, but you had to battle to get up into that final podium spot here with John Ellis on that final lap.
Yeah, I probably, if it wasn't for the final turn, I probably wouldn't have stuck it in there. I probably would have let him gain his truck back. He's a teammate. So, but it was the final turn, and I think I pretty much had third locked up until I got turned at one point. But I'm happy. I'm happy with third. It's a hard racetrack. Trucks are really loose. I mean, you really have to drive them. I'm like sweating bullets right now.
Hey, George, you're from California, aren't you?
I am, yes. I'm Southern California.
So, I mean, you kind of know more than, I don't know, say guys like me and Adam, what it takes to win at a track like this. We don't watch a whole lot of road course racing anyway, but I know a couple of guys from California that really love this track, and it's a really weird thing when you put something that's not even built to run on something like this, and you do it. What was the most difficult part of the track for you guys? Was it the hairpin? Was it 6? Was it where the suspension unloads at the top of the hill? What was the hardest part for you to overcome?
I I would say that the hairpin turn is, to get your brakes the right way and to get into that turn lap after lap consistently. I think that's the hardest one for me. The other ones are pretty much, you got to use the brake a lot and use the gas pedal a lot to get it to turn, and you really have to feather the pedal, because you mash the pedal, you're going to burn up those rears. So it's a lot about tire management here too. But yeah, I'm happy. That was a good run. I like this racetrack, and I've been to this racetrack, and I've driven a street car around this racetrack on like an Ego Challenge type of situation back in the 90s, I think it was. So it's a lot of fun. And I like this configuration, the historic cup configuration. I like it the best out of all the ones that they offer. So.
Wow, so but you're a ringer. You've actually driven the course, so good job. Well, how tough was it passing out there? It looks super narrow. Was that an issue tonight?
Yeah, I mean, there's no passing zone here at all. I mean, and this is about as close to real life as you're going to get. But like, I had a couple people get into me, and I'm not upset about it. It's just, you have your limited opportunities to try and get in there, and you have to push that extra mile, and sometimes you might make contact or something. When I race around this racetrack, I just look for somebody to make a mistake, as opposed to, putting the bumper to them or, something like that. Like John, that last turn, he made a mistake and took it wide, and so I went underneath him and fortunately got the position. And I think in the beginning of the race too, Ricky Wittenberg, he went wide on the top of the hill, and I had good position, so I was able to take him there, and I think Ricky lost several positions from taking it wide. So, but it was a fun race. It was a really fun race. I think all in all, a lot of clean racing going on, a lot of respect, I believe, and a lot of the rookies, they did move out of the way, and they did the best they could with the racetrack that they were given. I mean, it's hard to drive regularly, and then to try and be defensive against the guys that are on the lead lap. It's even more difficult to drive the track. So you don't want to get off track. You can't get back on. It's impossible. So, but I'd like to thank Jess and Lori for putting this on, Ricky for financing the whole deal. I know that he puts a lot of money into this thing, and a couple other guys, Mayberry and Cool, I know that they contribute quite a bit. And you guys too for making entertainment for me on the weekends. I typically watch the race and enjoy it a lot. So I appreciate all you guys.
Well, we appreciate you, George, and again, congratulations here on that podium P3 finish here tonight. Definitely hard fought, and you waited for the perfect time for somebody to make a mistake and squeeze your way in. We look forward to seeing you up here more often, buddy. Unfortunately, you're going to get one of those EOL penalties here next week. How
Where are we going next week?
You know what? That's a fantastic. I think it's Daytona, so it's really it may not be that much of a deal.
Yeah, I don't. A lot of times I won't even qualify. A lot of times I'll just start in the back, because I just love passing cars. Like this race tonight, with as many cars as there were, or many trucks as there were, to me is as close to real as you can get, because you have all the elements you have to deal with. A couple times the lap cars get in the way, and you lose time and all that, but that's real life. I mean, that's real life racing. So I enjoy it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, man, congrats on the third place finish here tonight. Good luck next week, and good luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys do too.
All right. So we'll now move on up here to our second place finisher, and that's that 33 of Jess Vaught, the kind of leader here of the clubhouse, you could say. Did a heck of a job there, Jess. Dang near all race long, leading it almost that entire first stage, and then into the second stage, having people come up on you, and just it was the perfect race for you. Just one little mistake, and Buettner got around you.
Yeah, I gave that one away, man. So I got my tires a little hot with fighting with Buettner there, and got hot into that one hairpin turn, and that was all she wrote. That's one that you chalked that up to me. That was my fault.
Well, you did one heck of a job out there racing. You could tell that you put the laps in, you did the prep work, and it really showed tonight. We did see a couple of trucks that looked like they were starved for fuel right at the halfway point. Was there any other guys that you heard of or yourself that thought, man, fuel might be an issue in this second stage?
No. So at the first comp caution, I was 2 laps to the good on fuel, and then Kelly Cool, who was in the same team speak with me, and he ran out. And we're both driving Chevys, so I didn't understand it. I think it was about 4, and Lori can confirm this. I think about 4 drivers who had this issue. I thought they had plenty, and the lesson learned from me for setting this up is maybe add a couple extra laps in there. We did at the beginning of the race, if you noticed. I threw an extra lap in there because the field was just so strung out, and I wanted them to have a fair opportunity to get up and catch up with the pack before we hit the green. And that exacerbated the issue as well for those guys who were running short. The only thing I can figure is either A, an iRacing glitch, which I'm not positive, or B, driving style in the way that these guys were using up their gas.
My theory is gear choice. A lot of guys like to have that top-end RPM in some of these turns. When I road course race, as far as gear selection goes, I'm going a little bit higher. I short shift a lot and try to save fuel. So that's my theory on it. I'm not sure that that was the case, but that might have something to do with it.
And I think, yeah, sure. I think gearing could have something to do with it. Somebody asked me, "Hey, you're running 4th gear." I never hit 4th gear. However, to your point, I think it, depending on what you're doing per turn, maybe that's making the difference.
Well, you were out front pretty much all night. Very narrow track. How tough was it kind of passing some of those lap cars? It seemed like they were doing the best they could to get out of your way.
Oh, yeah, they were doing yeoman's work. Very accommodating, and I appreciate that from the field. But it's tough, when you're out front, that just really hurts you. And I think if you come by as a leader, they get out of the way, but now they have an awareness. Here comes the rest of the leaders. And it seemed like it was a little easier for the guys behind me to get past than it was for me. But no fault on the guys I was passing. It's just how it came out.
Well, you can also use that up to that, the 24-hour experience, too. It's, we saw a lot of these guys not necessarily be a part of that, the 24 teams that went on there at Daytona. But, I mean, you saw, like, we were talking with George there. He was being very patient and just letting other people make mistakes. And you could see that kind of throughout the field, especially with, Jeremiah Burke and Ricky. They were just being patient, waiting to let everybody else kind of do the work for them.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think that we ran that race together, Alan, and I think that experience definitely helped me for road courses. And sometimes the track is self-cleaning. I will say that, and you can just kind of wait it out.
At that, indeed. Well, man, congrats on the second place here tonight. Before I let you go, got any shout-outs or anything you want to put out to the league there?
No, it's a great start to the second season. I couldn't be happier with the way things are going so far. Great group, a bunch of guys, and I just want to thank my wife for putting up with this every single week, and not just the official races, but all the extra stuff that she does. So, she does a great job for us, more than everybody knows. I promise you that.
Yes, that is a fact. Lori does do a fantastic job week in and week out here at Vigilante, and I don't know if it would run nearly as smooth without her. So, Lori, seriously, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys as well.
Yeah, thanks, Jess, and we wish you the best of luck next week at going to Daytona for some high-speed plate track action. Going to be starting there in the back due to the new rule that's in effect, but I don't think that's going to hurt you too much.
Oh, that's the place. If you want to start in the back, that's the one.
Yeah, that it is. Well, again, congrats on the second place finish here tonight, and we look forward to seeing what you can do this rest of the season, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and so now we will cruise right on. Let me see, is Ricky still hanging around? Yes, he is. So let's grab Mr. Wittenberg up here into the booth. Ricky, you got us there?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey, there's Mr. 55, Ricky Wittenberg, in the house, the random driver of the day here. Man, Ricky, I haven't disclosed this information with the other two yet, but I know you're racing with one hand basically literally tied behind your back. I thought you were just going to park it after a lap.
Well, I thought about it. I knew that if I had any wrecks or anything weird happened, I was going to park it. But you know how it is. I guess when the adrenaline takes over, you just gut it out. Because I've been driving with one hand, and this race I had to use that right arm, and it wasn't fun. Believe me, I'm probably going to go grab some ice in a few minutes.
Especially with all the shifting and stuff you got to do. I mean,
yeah,
man, that's got to be murder.
It was tough, and then I got I blew up myself a couple of times and kept putting myself in bad spots and was having to try to drive my butt off, and but it was a good race. I mean, I don't know what it looked like from the booth, but I had fun. Some of the lap cars were an adventure to die, but other than that, it was fun.
Well, I mean, you did it with one hand and one arm. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Sixth place, that's not bad. And, of course, and you've done this before. I know it's like your good luck or something. You keep winning that random draw, so bring home a little bit. And you top 10, that's pretty good evening.
Yeah, the only way I can get up here in the booth is to win the random draw. So that's just gotta keep winning those so I can talk to you guys.
Well, since you're here, you know, I mean, you provide so much support to this league. Talk a little bit about D&D Race Graphics and talk some on Keller Williams, because we try to talk up the sponsorship during the race itself. But before we get to talk to our winner, you want to give us some words straight from the horse's mouth so we don't mess it up?
Oh yeah, I'm sure Buettner's going to have a lot of things to talk about, so I'll try to keep it brief. Yeah, my D&D Race Graphics, I paint. There's probably 7 or 8 trucks out there that's mine. Paint jobs. I have fun doing it. So anybody that needs a paint, I can pretty much do any car. I try not to charge too much because I have fun doing it. It's kind of a stress relief thing. But yeah, check our cars out. You can tell usually my cars are bright or wild. I try to do unique paint schemes. And as far as the real estate goes, anybody looking to buy or sell in the United States, I can help them. I know that you always say Keller Williams out of East Tennessee, and people would think, well, you can only sell here, which is true. I can only help you if you're in Tennessee buy a house. But if you're trying to locate a good realtor in your area to sell your house, or if you're trying to find a good realtor to help you buy a house in your area, no matter where you're at, I've got a network of contacts, and if I don't, then I'll search out the good realtors and I'll weed them out, because believe me, it's not hard to get a real estate license. There's probably 500 in my little East Tennessee pocket alone, and I guarantee you don't want to deal with 420 of them. So you just got to know the right ones, and I can help people navigate that and make sure they get with a good agent that'll take care of them.
Yeah, no, that's, what we say every single time is get yourself a good realtor, and definitely go through you if they're kind of out of that area and looking abroad and whatnot, because, man, it's, no one's somebody that you trust and will get you to the place that you think you need to be and all that kind of stuff. Those people are the ones that really help you out.
Yeah, and I mean, I really do have a pretty good network of realtors that I have dealt with in the past. But if I haven't, then I can still help folks find a good agent in their area. I mean, I've not ever helped anybody from Alaska yet, but there's always a first for everything. So, I can help you find the best Alaska agent if you're in Anchorage or wherever you're at. I can help you locate one that'll fit your needs. It's always about a fit for a realtor, because some realtors may be really good, but they may not fit the personality of the person that is trying to buy a house, or they could be intimidated. So I always talk to the people and fill them out and try to figure out what they're looking for. Do they want a real aggressive agent that texts them 100 times a day, or do they want somebody that'll be more hands-off? I will try to make sure that I match you with the right type of realtor in your area.
Oh, there you go. And you can be reached at 423-444-0454, and that is for our man here, the 55 of Ricky Wittenberg. Ricky, congratulations here on the random draw winner, but also you still had a heck of a race there, finishing in 6th. I know we got Daytona coming up next week, so ice up that shoulder and whatever you need to, man, because we can't wait to have you back out here on the racetrack, and best of luck for this rest of the season, buddy.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate all you do for the league, and look forward to watching the broadcast.
All right,
Well, we better get Josh up here before he it looks like he's done doing backwards laps out there.
Done with his donuts.
And that,
Yeah.
that he is by the looks of it. As no, you know what? I can't.
I got it.
Oh, there we go. No, my screen was going crazy.
He's up here now.
As we now have our race winner, the 84 of Josh Buettner. Man, Josh, you looked like you kind of knew what you were doing out there, just waiting around, being patient, crawling your way up through this field, making the right moves, only having a couple issues there, but you figured your way out around this track at the right time and was able to sneak out the win here at Sonoma.
Yeah, I felt like I cheated death a couple of times there with some lap cars, but other than that, yeah, it was just good effort of being patient and letting opportunities come to me and waiting for other people to mess up and not messing up as much, and I was able to somehow pull that away tonight.
So you're going to have one heck of a broadcast on SoundCloud for the Vigilante report that you and Josh Bittner, or I'm sorry, you and Albert Anderson are doing that Ricky Wittenberger produces. Talk a little bit about the SoundCloud podcast and what you guys offer on there. We try to play it up every now and then, and you guys do one heck of a job. You get a lot of backside information, inside baseball stuff is like we like to say, but try to plug that as much as you can.
Yeah, well, we certainly appreciate it. We're back for, I guess, season 2 of the Vigilante Report podcast. We did one episode last week. It was kind of covered the first 2 weeks races, and hopefully Albert and I can record the next one in a couple of days. It'll be interesting to see the perspectives because Albert, I don't know how his race went. I went by him a couple times when I was lapping him, but other than that, I didn't really get the full. I think we'd have different perspectives, so that'll be fun. And looking forward to talking about Daytona because that's a track that we're really thrilled, and especially now that I won, I got a damn EOL, so I get to start in the back of the plate track, which is like that's a dream come true.
That's a dream come true.
I'm going to Disney World. That's what it feels like, man. It's great, but no, I'm excited. Albert brings so much to the podcast, and he really makes it listenable. I'm just some chump who mumbles and goes on tangents.
Credit, man.
Well, that's
great job.
That's kind of like me here. But,
Kindred spirits.
Yeah. So no, you took advantage of. Looked like I think we talked earlier to Jesse. You took advantage of a mistake. You were running hot all night. Very narrow out there. What did you put in a lot of practice, or what was your kind of thought process going into tonight?
Yeah, we definitely, for our team, the Vigilante Omega Racing Experience with Ricky, Eric Klafka, and Jack Dixon, we raced tonight. They're the ones that raced tonight. We put a lot of practice in during the week. We had a couple of special sessions and just getting the track down. And the main thing about Sonoma is in a nutshell, it's not the hardest track. I mean, it's really hard. Don't get me wrong, but when you have it at one condition and it stays at that one condition, so if it stays clear, sunny, it can be, you get it down. Or if it's really overcast, you get it down. And the temperatures, the humidity, all this crap comes into factors. And when you have it in the conditions like we did, where it bounces around and goes between, it's a completely different track at different points in the race. When there's a cloud over certain corners, and it gets a little cooler there, and the track temp goes down, it gets a lot. It might get easier to drive, but then when that sun comes out and gets a little warms up, it turns into a faster, slicker surface, kind of. And just practicing with Ricky and the guys really changed my perspective kind of on how to race this track, because there was times when laps in the 116s were possible, and then there were times when laps in the 119s or 118s might have been possible. It's that kind of track. It's so dynamic, and it really, I thought, made it a lot of fun, and it was also such like a crazy challenge. So yeah, we put in probably 150 laps this week at least. I know Ricky was working his tail off, and Jack and Eric, like, we were all out practicing before this race.
We saw the temperature difference really affect you guys, and as Adam mentioned, it was well over 100 degrees there for a while. Then you got some clouds move in, and then the sun came back out again. You want to take a gander at what the freaking track temperature is right now? 78 degrees is what the track temp is right now. So
that would have been nice an hour ago.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it would have gave you guys a little bit more grip. But Peyton McGowan, back-to-back weeks, our fan of the race. We just didn't have a whole heck of a lot of fans out there commenting tonight, but Peyton was all over it. So how fitting is this to have you be the winner of the race and Peyton be the fan of the race?
I'll tell you what, she picked a good race to not fall asleep to. No, when I'm not on the lead lap, or I'm a couple laps down like I was in the last couple weeks, there were some trying times in the household. No, but yeah, I always appreciate the support, and she's my number one fan, and I'll always appreciate it from her.
Well, Josh, you definitely brought it home into victory lane like a champion here tonight. Congratulations on that. Before we let you go, you got any shout-outs or any other things you want to put out there?
Yeah, just my team, Vigilante Omega Racing Experience. The guys, Ricky, Jack Dixon, Eric Klafka, Austin Paul, Angelica Timmerman. I might be forgetting a name, and I apologize, but they
Kelly,
really...
I think Kelly Kill on y'all's team?
No, he's with...
oh, okay.
Jess. But
my bad.
I appreciate him, though. Yeah, Ricky sponsoring me, of course, with the Keller Williams Johnson City, Tennessee, and D&D Race Graphics board. I always appreciate that. And I think I also have Kelly Keel's company, Stainless Piping Specialist. They're also on my truck. Appreciate him and his support. And we also one plug for the VigilanteRacing.com. We've had some new products go up, some new official league merch go up, and we're going to get some hats out soon, hopefully on the store. And just some good things in the future, and looking forward to the rest of this season of racing, hopefully talking to you guys some more.
Awesome, man. We definitely look forward to it. Again, congrats on the win here tonight. Good luck next week at Daytona, and good luck with the rest of the season there, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, so with that brings our racing action here from Sonoma to a close. And man, for some of these spots, it came down to the wire, came down to that final hairpin.
It was an awesome race. I mean, yeah, we did talk a little bit about the hairpin during the pre-race discussion, because we saw in practice a lot of guys having trouble getting around that thing and getting power back down. Some of it might have been gear selection. Some of it might have been, pushing, colder tires a little bit too hard. But overall, I was impressed. We had quite a bit of tight racing out there, as well as, we had some guys that were having trouble, but, they persevered and stayed out there on the track. And it was good to see so many guys that had trouble. They didn't give up. They just kept going, did whatever they could to click off laps. And hey, man, anything can happen with the way the points go and everything. If you stay with somebody and somebody, God forbid, gets a DNF ahead of you, hell, that's another point you can put in your back pocket. to advance on the season. So, yeah, man, I was impressed. I thought the racing was really good tonight.
Yeah, it was different. It was a change up. I'm definitely looking forward to next week. Play track. That's kind of my deal. I think it's English. It's your deal too. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
But I had a good fun time tonight watching these guys. We always like, just kind of sitting there and as the average Joe watching the race and getting to talk about it. So that's pretty cool.
That it was. Well, let's go ahead and close this one out with our final finishing order here for Sonoma. Josh Buettner in that 84, picking up the win, up 3 spots on the day. Great job from Josh. Same thing with Jess Vaught in that 33 machine. Man, he basically led this thing for 3/4 of the race. Just one little mistake kind of brought him down to that second place, and still a solid effort from him. Same thing with that 28 of George Rincon, having a beating and banging battle down and across the line here with that 221 of John Ellis, both respectively finishing 3rd and 4th. John Ellis being one of those guys coming all the way up from the back, so great job from him. You had that 88 of Eric Klafka do a pretty good job here to finish in that top 5, with Ricky Wittenberg getting that random draw win here tonight, able to walk away with a 6th. You got that 728 of Timothy Pope also clawing his way up through this field. He's going to be in 7th, up 15 spots. And your hard charger of the day, 753, Jeremiah Burke. Man, he is up 17 spots to finish in 8th. He did a great job. Had a lot of battles going on there with Ricky and Eric and a whole bunch of others. So he did a great job out there. Jonathan Osborne looked like he was going to be a strong contender here tonight, and he was. Just one little mistake set him back quite a few spots here. Still able to squeak out a top 10 9th place finish. And rounding out tonight's top 10 here from Sonoma is the 82 of Mike Everidge.
202 of Justin French. One of those trucks out there that, and you talking about fighting a loose condition quite a bit of the race, but still a pretty strong finish. Finishing in 11th. Jack the Ripper Dixon, sporting that kick-ass new paint in the 07, finishing in 12th place. America's driver, Albert Anderson, in the 2 truck, finishing in 13th. Brian Jablonski in the 17, finishing in 14th place. Dustin really had some problems early. I thought this was one of those guys that might be a contender later on, but had some issues with this track tonight. Ended up finishing back in 15th place. Dion Jones, we did see a lot of off tracks from Dion, doing his best out there. He was trying to stay out of people's way, and this is not an easy track, and he definitely knows it if he didn't before. So, but still good finish, finishing in 16th place. Jeffrey Ottinger in the 214, one of our rookies out here, finishing in 17th place. Earl Evans, right there behind him in that U.S. Army Toyota machine, finishing in 18th. Russ Endicott in the 257. A little bit of adversity for him out there tonight. It's a rough road course, Russ. Don't worry about it. Next week's Daytona. I'm looking next week for the 257 out of plate track. I think he's one of those guys. We all know from seeing him comment all the time on all the social medias that he's a strategy guy. So watch out for him next week at Daytona. And John Hertzik in the 14, started in 20th, finished right where he started. Strong night for him. And that rounds out your top 20.
Yeah, rookie Robert Johnson, 21st. Kelly Keel, rough night, 22nd. Rob Green, 23rd. Jeffrey Green, 24th. Really rough night there. And Russ Kilgore. Yeah, he didn't put too many laps in there, but he's ended up in 25th. And that'll wrap it up for the Vigilante guys at Sonoma.
That it does. We say thank you once again to the proud race sponsor, D&D Racing Graphics. That's Mr. Ricky Wittenberg himself. If you need a truck painted, go check out his collection, man, because he's got some great paints up here. And like he said, he's got probably like 10 or so trucks out here that are all painted by him, and each and every single one of them look absolutely fantastic. So if you want a great paint job done, go check him out, as well as that Keller Williams of Johnson City, Tennessee. If you're looking to buy a home in that area or across the country, go and reach out to Ricky, as he can help you out, and either help you out personally or help you out by finding you a realtor in your area to get that job done that you need. You can reach him out at 423-444-0454 and tell him that you enjoy watching these Vigilante races here on M.TV. We thank you all for tuning in and watching. You guys are the reason why we do this, is to sit back and have fun with each and every single one of you guys, and enjoy these races, because, man, these races are more fun when you're watching with company. For Alan English and Adam Turner, I'm Alan Brown. You'll see us again here on Friday night with the Midwest Days of Thunder Cup Series coming back from their week off. Look for that great race in action here on Friday. But until then, we are signing off.
We gone.
See ya.